Hey, you ever want to play your favorite anime character in a tabletop RPG and the system would, kind of let you do it, but not really? Well, then you should play Worlds of Myth. Welcome to MythTube, where we build your favorite anime characters in Worlds of Myth. What is Worlds of Myth, you may ask? Well, Myth is a tabletop RPG that I designed to allow you to build the over-the-top characters you only find in shonen battle anime. Characters like Naruto, Deku, Meliodas, and Ken Kaneki are all examples of characters this game can easily let you build. The game is in late beta right now, so you can head on over to worldsofmyth.net and download a free PDF, and you can also download a variety of other supplements. Yeah, for free. My goal is to spread awareness of the game before its official launch, and I want as many of you as possible to have fun playing it. You can also head on over to our Discord at Sinister Jester Worlds of Myth, where you can talk all things about the game, find a group to play with, or check out some of the other games we're testing. But without further ado, let's talk about who we're building today.
So today we are building the best dad in the Fate franchise, Berserker Heracles. I was looking through the messages from all 20 of you and saw that this Fernando fellow actually left a comment. I was actually going to do a video for Emiya Archer for my next Fate build, but since Fernando has asked for Berserker instead, and after careful consideration, yes. If you haven't seen the Fate franchise yet, what are you even doing with your life? I do have a name stealer friend who hasn't gotten into the show because he thinks it's a rabbit hole, and it is, but it's a consensual kind. As each Fate series is pretty contained. You don't actually have to go and see the other series to have a rough understanding of what's going on. Each series is usually only one session, and the Nasuverse has so many alternative timelines and what-if scenarios that you just have to take each story as its own thing. But what is consistent is super cool fights between reimagined heroes from history and mythology, and some really fun characters that'll make you laugh, cry, cheer, curl into a ball of depression, and or leave you pleasantly aroused. Point is, go and watch it. The series is designed in such a way that you can come in and out of it without feeling like you missed something, but while you're there, you are in for a wild ride full of great world building, character moments, and quite a bit of intrigue and strategy on some of them. So, our boy Hercules here. Let's first establish which version of Hercules we are building for this episode. So we are not building Hercules Archer. I know he is super cool and intriguing and was actually smoking Gilgamesh Archer, who is supposed to be the most powerful servant, but he's not even animated yet, and he's an alternate version of the character. If Type Moon ever does come out with an anime series featuring him, then I'll probably do a video on him. But the version of Hercules we'll be building today is Berserker Hercules, who features in the Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel routes. First off, Hercules Berserker is an absolute unit, having all of his physical abilities increased by Madness Enhancement. Despite being crazy and having a very straightforward attack strategy, he is actually very fast and nimble, possessing a sixth sense for avoiding danger. His main weapon of choice is his nameless axe sword and his fists and kicks. He is of course incredibly strong, being physically stronger than any of the other servants. But Berserker's real trump card is his durability. This guy is completely immune to attacks of B rank or lower, which is in the Fate universe an above average attack. More importantly, his 9 lives noble phantasm means you have to kill him 9 times before he'll actually stay dead, and these lives can regenerate over time. So what level should we build him at? Well, Worlds of Myth has 6 tiers of power, which we will roughly correlate to the Fate universe. Tier 1 or levels 1 through 5 are for your novice mages. Tier 2 or levels 6 through 10 are for your veteran mages. Tier 3 or levels 11 through 15 is for your elite mages or really weak servants. Tier 4 levels 16 through 20 is where you'll find most standard servants, as these beings are very powerful and this tier is made for epic characters. Tier 5, or levels 21 through 25, is where your really powerful servants can be found. And then Tier 6, or levels 26 through 30, is for your grand servants, which are the most powerful servants of each class and can't usually be summoned in a Grail War. Berserker has been estimated by Archer to be able to take on all of the other 6 servants at once before Gilgamesh showed up. I think he was exaggerating, but it's clear that for a long time Hercules was the guy to beat. We also estimated Saber to be a level 22, and Berserker is probably about as strong as her, so we're gonna build him as a level 22. Starting with our level 1, for your starting stats we'll go with 4 speed, 4 power, 4 skill, 1 cunning, and 4 heart. Due to the madness effect, you are pretty much good at everything except thinking. For our race, I built Saber as an angel, but I've kinda just decided that servants are gonna be built as whatever race fits the build best, since they are really just magical reincarnations anyway. Doesn't really matter. So we are gonna go with the beta race Orc.
The time of the Orc has come.
All races are subject to change before their official release, but beta races are extra subject to this as they are still being tested and aren't in the core book yet. Level 1 Orcs get an extra +1 upgrade point, +1 power, +1 heart, 3 gene slots, a sub-race, and Orcish Rage. Orcish Rage allows you to store up to 10 rage counters. You get a rage counter each time you get hit, and you can spend those rage counters to add +1 offense, +1 defense, +2 damage, +1 protection to your character for 1 attack or block. You also get a sub-race. We'll go with Ogre. This gives you +10 HP and +2 to your size, which means you stand at an average of 10 feet tall. You also get an extra +5 HP for each point of size that you have. Human-sized characters, which are most of the characters we do on this show, have a size of 3, which is why there is always a resting +15 HP to them. But you're a size 5, so you get +25 HP, making you a chonky boy. For your spell schools, you get Shadowmancy, Pyromancy, Geomancy, Echomancy, Hexmancy, Vitaemancy, Spiritmancy, Necromancy, and Familiarmancy. For talents, you get Survival level 1, which gives you +5 to survival type checks in terrain of your choice. We'll go with mountains. And then you also get Intimidation/Rage level 1, which will give you +5 to rolls to intimidate someone into doing what you want. We also get a free upgrade point that can be spent toward a talent of choice. We'll level up Intimidation/Rage to level 2. That'll increase the number of rage counters we can store by +5. Next, for our kit, let's start by getting your basic fighting skills. We'll do this by first getting Large Blade level 2 to represent your axe, sword, and then getting Monk level 1, dual wielding, and brawler. This will allow you to count your free hand and your kicks as a monk weapon each, meaning you can potentially tri-wield. Keep in mind that when you are using more than 2 weapons at a time in a single attack, you have to spend a passive action in addition to whatever other action economy the attack or technique demands. So for a standard attack, it's going to cost you 1 action plus 1 passive action, but then you get to tri-wield, which is a really good chance to hit and really solid damage. After that, we are going to skip all the way up to the end of 3rd tier with level 15. You're a servant, so you're automatically summoned at full power, which means I don't really have any story beats to go off of for leveling progression. So we are just gonna build you up to your highest non-epic level and then finish things off with level 22. By this level you get plus 70 HP, plus 140 myth, 76 plus 14 points because orcs are a blank slate race, 2 stacks of overcharge, and 14 stat points. We'll go with plus 4 speed, plus 2 power, plus 4 skill, and plus 4 heart. From our race, we'll get another plus 3 power and plus 3 heart. We'll also get Burning Rage, Empowering Rage, and Death-Defying Rage, and plus 2 gene slots, bringing our total number of gene slots to 5. Burning Rage allows you to spend an action in any number of your rage counters, and for every 2 you spend, you get the usual rage counter bonus, but it lasts until the end of battle and you can stack it up to 5 times. With Empowering Rage, you can spend an action and any number of rage counters in order to heal by 2 HP and restore 2 myth per rage counter spent. Finally, Death-Defying Rage makes it so that when you would reach 0 or lower HP and have to make a life-saving roll, you can spend any number of rage counters adding +2 to the roll per counter, and if you succeed and you used at least 1 rage counter, your HP becomes 1 instead of becoming incapacitated. If you don't heal yourself before the end of your next turn, you'll slip down to 0 HP and become incapacitated anyway. This will be the first installment of our 9 Lives Noble Phantasm, but we want some actual lives that activate even if you do die, so we're gonna kick things off in your kit by grabbing Neko Gene level 3. Remember that one time Berserker was battling Saber, then struck a cat pose and went like, "Nya nya"? Well, I do, and if you don't, you're crazy because it totally happened. But in all seriousness, we're picking up this gene because it's gonna give us 9 cat lives, which can activate once per day when your HP would hit 0 or lower. When spent, the cat life will make your HP 1 and you get to make an action immediately. But remember, you only get 9 of these ever and can only spend 1 of them per day. You can, however, recharge them by spending 2 fate counters, which is a special currency that GMs can give out as a reward, so I guess you can think of this as Ilya restoring your lives for you. This gene also grants you +2 speed, +1 skill, +2 cunning, a set of beast claws, which you'll never use, and hypnomancy, which again, you'll never use. But we'll gratefully accept the stats. Next, we'll get even more lives in the form of Phoenix Aspect level 2. This will grant us a spell affinity for Vitamancy, meaning our healing spells will cost us 3 less myth to cast, and it'll also make it so up to 2 times a day when we would be killed, we can instead reform on our next turn with an amount of HP equal to our power or heart stat. Then we'll grab ourselves one last resurrection move for this tier with Last Stand level 2. Once per day, when you would be killed or knocked out, you can just say no, and on your next turn you stand up with an amount of HP equal to your heart stat and +3 to all of your stats. This ability was kinda made for the bullshit "not yet" kinda stuff that protagonist types pull off when they are clearly and soundly defeated by the bad guy, yet they somehow keep standing up till they win anyway. But it also works pretty great for Berserker's extra life gimmick and is probably the first extra life you'll wanna pop, as the extra +3 to all your stats is really nice. Then we'll round out our cockroach abilities with Healing Amplification level 3 and Regenerate level 5. Healing Amplification allows us to spend 10 myth and a passive action in order to add +15 to all of our healing that we do for the rest of combat. Regenerate is the best selfish healing spell in the game, allowing you to spend a passive action and 10 myth in order to heal by 4d8 plus heart HP, and also allows you to spend +1 myth any number of times in order to add +1 to that healing. So just pop Healing Amplification at the beginning of battle, and then when you get killed the first time, come back to life with Last Stand, get your free +3 to all of your stats, fully heal with Regenerate, get killed another 2 times, reform on your turn with Phoenix Aspect, fully heal again each time, get killed again, come back with your cat life, use your immediate action to pop Regenerate, fully heal again, get almost killed any number of times again after that, but make your life-saving roll with Orcus Rage. So long as you're semi-lucky, you'll fully heal on your next turn. Do you see what I'm getting at? You are really hard to kill, and we're not even done yet cause all of that shit's gonna get empowered later. But moving back to your fighting skills, we're actually gonna need to get a little bit smarter first with Improved Cunning level 2. This will give us all the stat minimums we need in order to pick up Monk level 5. We'll also master our Axe Sword with Large Blade level 5. And then let's try to max out our stats as best we can with some genes. First, we'll pick up Power Enhancement level 3, which will give us +5 to our power stat and +2 to our power stat cap, meaning we're gonna cap at 17 instead of 15. Next, we'll grab Mark of Wrath level 3. This will grant us +2 power, +2 skill, and +2 heart. It'll also increase the number of rage counters we can store by our heart stat and lets us gain a rage counter every time we attack. You also gain the ability spell Berserk, which for 2 actions, 20 myth, and 10 rage counters lets us get +5 to all of our stats, except for Cunning, which is gonna get -5, so you can really activate that madness enhancement when you need to. For our last gene, we'll grab Awakening Gene level 3, which will grant us 7 stats that we get to divide out how we choose. This gene doesn't give us as many raw stats as some of the others, but it's great for rounding a build out. We'll go ahead and give ourselves +2 speed, +4 skill, and +1 heart. And then we'll finish our stats off with Improved Speed level 3. Next, let's work on making you more invulnerable. We'll do this by grabbing the Growth Grit level 2. So long as you don't have any armor spells active, this will give you +10 armor if you are wearing armor, or +10 protection if you're not wearing armor. Both armor and protection are damage mitigation before it hits your HP, but protection is a little bit better because there are abilities in the game that can either ignore armor or punish you for having it. This comes at the drawback of protection abilities usually not offering as much as armor abilities. Next, we'll grab you the new growth Iron Body level 5. This will give us another +25 HP and another +5 protection. And then we'll get you the spell Life Force Armor level 5. Despite its name, this technically does not count as an armor spell, but as a damage mitigation spell. By spending 9 myth after affinities when taking damage, we can add an amount of protection to ourselves equal to our heart stat +3, which for us is 18. Keep in mind, you can spend overcharge stacks in order to add another +10 protection per stack on top of this. This means that if someone hits you with an attack, you can just deflect 33 to 53 of that damage. Next, since our speed stat is at least 10, we're gonna get you Godly Speed. This will convert your passive action into a normal action. Keep in mind that a normal action can do anything that a passive action can do, so you're not giving your passive action up. But it can also be used to do bigger stuff like moving or attacking, so you could potentially attack 3 times in a row. But that's just not enough attacks for how much this guy likes to attack. So we're also gonna pick up the technique Dance of Attacks level 1. By spending 2 actions, you can use a standard attack 3 times in a row. Next, we're gonna make those attacks hit harder by picking up Super Strength. Since our power stat is at least 10, we get an extra bonus of +10 damage to all of our melee attacks. And whenever we need to make a power success or challenge roll, we get to add a +10 bonus to that roll as well. We'll also pair this with Combat Specialist level 3. So long as you don't have any amplification spell active, you get a resting +15 damage to all your attacks. This means that if you are triple wielding your axe sword with your 2 monk weapons, you'll be hitting for 82 damage a pop. We'll also grab Spirit Attack, which will allow you to use your overcharge stacks even if we don't have many spells that synergize with the ability. But your overcharge stacks can now add +1 offense, +20 damage to your standard attacks per stack. So that's another potential +40 damage. Next, with our remaining points, we'll grab Durable level 5 and Spiritual level 5. This will give us +50 HP and +50 myth. And finally, we'll grab Will to Live level 4. This will give us another +20 HP and +15 to life-saving rolls. This will greatly synergize with our Orcish Rage ability. From there, we'll be jumping all the way up to 5th tier with level 22. This is the actual level of power that we experienced Berserker having during the show. He is an absolute unit far beyond the capabilities of most of the other servants. By this level, you'll get plus 35 HP, plus 70 myth, 45 plus 5 upgrade points, plus 2 stacks of overcharge, plus 10 to all of our stat caps, and plus 7 stats. We'll shove 4 of those into power and 3 into skill. We'll kick things off by upping our power with power enhancement level 4. That'll increase our power stat by plus 2, and it'll also increase our power stat cap by another plus 1. We'll also grab Awakening Gene level 4. This will give us another 2 stats that we can do whatever we want with. How about we throw those both into power? And next, let's get this guy even more stats, cause he is a frightening dude in all aspects except really for strategy. So we're gonna grab improved speed level 8, improved power level 3, improved skill level 4, and improved heart level 5. And then let's master your roach abilities. We'll do this by grabbing Phoenix Aspect level 3. This will give you a 3rd life from this gene. We'll also get you Healing Amplification level 4. This will improve your bonus healing from plus 15 to plus 25. Then we'll get Regenerate level 6, which will increase our healing to 5d8 plus heart and will also allow us to regrow limbs. Then we'll up Grit to level 3, giving us another plus 5 resting protection bonus, meaning that with Iron Body and Life Force Armor, we can give ourselves a protection bonus of 43 to 83 when hit, and that'll stop any B rank attacks dead in their tracks. We'll switch over to a little bit of offense with Combat Specialist level 4 to grant us another plus 5 resting damage to our weapon attacks. And then, I don't know, I guess we'll also get improved Intimidation / Rage talent at level 3. That'll give our Intimidation rolls plus 10 instead of plus 5. Cause just look at him. This guy is the definition of imposing. And with only 15 upgrade points left, we are gonna grab the Vitamancy Ultimate Spell Resurrection level 3. This spell allows you to spend 10 of our HP and 20 myth in order to resurrect targets within 30 feet of you. You can use it as an action to target only one character, or you can spend 2 actions and plus 1 myth for each target beyond the first in order to add more targets. The resurrected targets are restored to an amount of HP equal to your heart stat and then healed by another 5d10 on top of that. They also have all previous status conditions cleansed and have their bodies fully restored. So this spell can single-handedly allow you to resurrect your entire party, but we didn't get this spell for that. Berserker wouldn't do that. No, we got this spell because if you cast it on a living target, including yourself, you place a stored version of this spell on that living target. So if you put it on yourself, you get to just come back to life with 5d10 plus 20 HP, all of your limbs back, and no status conditions. And you can do this as many times as you want. You can just only store one of them on you at a time. So as long as you have the myth, you will never die. And that's the build. So how'd we do? Well, despite a few flavor flaws, pretty damn good. First off, Hercules is not part cat, especially not part house cat, which is what the gene is used for. But Myth is a game of reflavoring, so just reflavor the Nekomimi years away and say you're having a lionish hair because you defeated the Nemean lion. Also, we couldn't get him his 6th sense mind's eye ability. The reason for this isn't cause we didn't have enough points or it wasn't a high enough priority for us. It's really just because the spells that would capture that effect the best, like Instinct or Future Sense, came from spell schools that we just couldn't get access to without having to sacrifice other more important iconic pieces for the build. But what we did get is a monster with so much HP and quite a bit of myth to go along with it. You also deal a ton of damage with super strength, combat specialists, and spirit attack, rage stacks, and really really high power. Your other stats are pretty monstrous too, with really high speed, skill, and heart, so it's going to be pretty hard to block you, hard to hit you, and even just hard to shut you down with debuffing spells, as a lot of spells are heart versus heart rolls and you can resist those pretty effectively. You are also really close to being unkillable. We might not have gotten 9 lives per se, or 12. It's not always clear how many lives this guy is actually supposed to have, but instead we basically got as many lives as we need. You have 5 lives guaranteed, plus as many lives as you can pay for with Resurrection level 3. And provided you have the rage stacks and luck on your side, you can just constantly keep yourself from dying with your orcish rage. And all of this is assuming that your opponent can really even hurt you. Your damage mitigation is pretty dang good. Not the best that it could be, but pretty dang good. Finally, you get some ramping stat effects, so even if Saber has higher base stats than you in the beginning, when your last stand effect activates and when you activate your Berserk, you're just gonna keep getting harder and harder to beat down. So yeah, this build is terrifying, able to tank hits and dish them out in equal measure, and coming back for rounds 2, 3, 4, 12. You're here for the long haul, so if they kill ya, just come back and keep attacking until they die. They're not gonna come back. And that's the video, folks. If you're still here, please give me a like and subscribe, as it gives my poor little noob content creator heart the strength to press on. You can also download a free version of the game on the website worldsofmyth.net. As of the recording of this video, I think we're on 7.7 or version 7.8. Also, go ahead and visit our Facebook and Discord page in order to find a group to play with, or just hang out and chat with some cool people. And with that, my beautiful weebs, seriously go watch Fate. Your life will be that much more complete because you listened to me. Peace.